Last time, the video was loading too slowly for my taste, so I decided to go ahead and write the story together with the AI, and we would catch up with it in the next video. So, recap, the last thing that happened. I'll go get your son. You wait here. You turn and begin to walk off. Who are you? She asks. I'm your son's new master. I don't want a master. You will. So I don't know what's going on there, but our version of Ash sounds a little bit nefarious. He's going to take control of this woman's son after he rescues him. You return to camp. You walk into the camp and find that your mom and sister have prepared a meal for you. So now the AI thinks Misty is Ash's sister. Great. You sit down and start eating. So, your mom asks, where did you go exactly? You say, I went looking for a Pikachu, and I got one, but more importantly, I met a woman whose baby was kidnapped by Team Rocket. And did I say last time, since when is Team Rocket kidnapping babies? That is not their MO. I promised to get him back. That was risky, your mom says. I hope they didn't try to kill you. Maybe, that baby's going to be raised to be the heir of Team Rocket. Silver, Giovanni's son, may not really be Giovanni's son and might have been that baby. Or maybe that baby really is Giovanni's son and we don't know the full story. We'll have to see how that develops later. I'll be sure to bring that back eventually. But the baby's all the way at the Pokemon League, so that will take a while to tease out. Oh, I don't think they care anymore. After all, I'm an Eternal now. So, apparently Ash is immortal. That makes sense, that's why he doesn't age. You try to scare Misty with your Caterpie. You grab your Caterpie and show it to your mom. So is Misty our mom now? Pika, it says, before starting to hop around. The Caterpie says Pika. Interesting, she says. It can say something's its name. You say, it should be saying Caterpie. Uh-huh. We don't need it to say its name, your sister says. It's just a stupid caterpillar. Thanks a lot, sis, you say angrily. Sibling-like bickering might be appropriate for Ash and Misty, but they're not siblings. As far as I know, Ash has no siblings, and Misty's got 3 older sisters. But Ash did tell Misty in one of the season 1 episodes that she could pass as his brother. It's the one with the all those brothers with the different Eevee. You'll hurt Caterpie's feelings. It learns differently, your sister says. You're a hypocrite, you point out. And I don't know how she's a hypocrite. What, does she learn differently too? You don't recognize your own. Your own what? Your mom tells you to quit fighting with Misty. Now, both of you, she says. You're both very close to passing your training. But one of you has to recognize the obvious, so who should it be? And I don't know what training she's talking about. But I decided this was an appropriate time to say, I'm gonna be the very best, like no one ever was. And then the AI recognizes that that was a song. You begin singing the song and it seems to annoy your sister. "Shut up," she shouts. You continue. "You're nasty and you're stupid and I hate you," you sing. You lead the way on toward Pewter City. "Stop it," your sister yells. "Stop it." "Why?" you ask. "It's funner than fun." "Stop it." You see a man sitting at the city gate selling rocks. Now, I attempt to introduce Flint. "Hey," you ask, "could you tell me where I can get a net?" And if it's not obvious, the AI said that. I did not ask for a net. The man looks at you and says, "That's an interesting bag you've got there." The man tries to sell you a rock. "No thanks," you say. "I'm looking for a net." "You want a net?" he asks incredulously. You say, "I need a net so I can catch more wild Pokemon." Just trying to work with his random request for a net. "Pfft," the man says. "You won't last a week in the wild unless you have actual fighting experience. You want to catch some good Pokemon? You need to be in a more rugged area." You say, "I'm heading to Mount Moon, but first I need to go to the Pokemon Gym. Do you know where it is?" "Pfft," the man says. "You want to go to the fighting dojo?" I'm pretty sure the fighting dojo is all the way in wherever Sabrina is. Is that called Saffron City? So we're in Pewter City. That's in Saffron City. That's on the other side of Kanto. You want to go to the fighting dojo? Ha 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 ha! Only an idiot would go there. How do you know, you ask? Misty reminds you need to deposit some Pokemon in your PC. My feeble attempt at trying to redirect the AI, because at this point I think we actually have 7 Pokemon on us. We have Snivy, Spearow, Rattata, which we've all caught. We caught all of those along the way. The Nurse Joy in Vermilion gave us a Charmander. And then in the trailer at that house, because I'm trying to get Ash his correct team, we picked up a Pikachu, a Caterpie, and a Pidgeotto. So yeah, we've got 7 Pokemon on this. So in order to not be breaking the league rules, we need to go and deposit someone in the PC before we go to the gym. And the AI is ignoring that suggestion and says you enter the fighting dojo and see a man standing by a counter offering to sell some of the more expensive types of Pokemon. And I don't think they sell Pokemon in the fighting dojo. And again, the fighting dojo is not in Pewter City. I want to buy a Camerupt, so it makes that decision for me. And I try to avoid buying any new Pokemon at this point. And I tell it you do not have enough money to buy a Camerupt. But then it goes around me and says, "How about a Magmar?" Done. You nod and the man takes a giant red lizard out of the box. So I cooperated with the AI and I said, "You thank him and give him the money. He gives you a Pokeball with Magmar in it and you happily take it." And must I say, how did he have the Magmar not inside its Pokeball in a box? It says the man takes a giant red lizard out of a box. And I also wouldn't call Magmar a lizard. Well, I guess it's kind of scaly, but it's more humanoid. Oh, the cat's coming in. "Hey," he says, You say, what? Do you know where the fighting dojo is? And I was going to say, we're in the fighting dojo. But then the AI does that for us. Oh, no, I'm not in the fighting dojo. I'm the fighting dojo. You're the fighting dojo? Fighting, training? I do a lot of things, you laugh. You say, I got to get going. Thanks for the Magmar. Well, if you see the ROTLD crew, tell them they're missing their leader. And I had to Google ROTLD, but I think that means Rise of the Living Dead. So we just casually have zombie hunters. I think that's what Rise of the Living Dead is, isn't it? Zombies? We casually have zombie hunters in this universe now. Really? Yes. You head to the Pokemon Center. You deposit Snivy, Spearow, Rattata, and Magmar into the PC, leaving you with Pikachu, Caterpie, Pidgeotto, and Charmander. Ash shouldn't have a Charmander yet, but he does have a Charmander in Kanto, so we'll keep that one. You notice a girl at the counter staring at the list of available Pokécenters. So the Pokemon Center has a list of Pokemon Centers. That's logical. What are you doing here? She asks angrily. This is a public place. I don't know what her issue is. Me? Yeah, you. You realize you don't know. I lost my Pokebunk, you say. What in the world is a Pokebunk? Unless that's some Gen 8 thing and I haven't played the Gen 8 games, but I doubt it. What's that? You say, I don't know. It's some stupid Pidgey that doesn't know how to fly. And we're going to see later that this AI is obsessed with Pidgey. It keeps inserting Pidgey where they don't belong. I lost it, can you believe it? And I thought that it was this random girl that we met in the Pokemon Center saying that she lost her Pidgey, but I think the AI might be putting those words in our mouth that we lost our Pidgey that we never had in the first place. Because this conversation makes no sense. Your Pokemon? Yes, you lost your Pokemon. You say, gee, I'm sorry. At this point, I was thinking it was her Pokemon that was lost. Gee, I'm sorry. I'll tell you if I see it. I have to get to the Pokemon gym. You should be more careful with them, she says. So now it sounds like we're the one that lost our Pokemon. Bye, you say, walking away. You walk into the Pokemon Center. We were just in the Pokemon Center already. And get in line behind 3 girls and a boy. You heal your Pokemon and head to the gym. At this point, I was done with the Pokemon Center and wanted to make the point that we were getting out of there. Your mom and your friend Misty are waiting for you. So I told it that, and then, of course, it has to run off and do something else again, but I guess that's the fun of the AI. What took you so long? Your mom asks. Hello, ladies, you say, trying not to stare at their bikinis. Where did these women come from? And if there's a bunch of women in bikinis at Brock's gym, I think he'd be pretty happy with that, wouldn't he? Who are these people? Your mom asks. And so am I. I am Delia in this moment. Who are these people? The only other thing I can come up with is if they were Gary Oak's crew of fans. I don't know them. What's wrong with your eyes? Your mom asks. You're staring at their chests and butts. Nothing, you say, turning away. Strange tangent. Hi, it's the man from earlier who was trying to sell rocks. So it just said hi, and I thought maybe Flint can get us back on track. What do you want? Your mom asks. I'm ROLD's leader. I want to know if your daughter came here. Your daughter, so Ash's mom's daughter. Ash's mom does not have a daughter, unless you count his alter ego Ashley that he's been a few times. But then, earlier, it did say his mom and his sister, so the AI seems to think that Misty is his sister. So then I guess Delia's daughter is Misty. Yeah, she did, your mom says. The man in the fighting dojo said your team is looking for you. Oh, oops, I meant to do that on say, but I must have done that on story, because it's not in quote marks. I saw her heading over here, the man says. Whatever daughter this is. She wants to come. She can. Where is she coming? With us? Your mom picks you up and puts you on the counter. Delia is a fairly small, or at least, I don't think she's real short, but she's fairly slim-framed woman, and she's just casually picking up her 10-year-old son and setting him on the counter. The man looks at you, then sighs. You say, where can I find the gym leader around here? I say while casually sitting on the counter after my mom put me up there. What? The fighting gym leader? You want to go to the fighting dojo? And at this point I was, no. I just got out of the fighting dojo. Don't send me back to the fighting dojo. No, you say the Pokemon League. And I did not say that. The AI said that for me. So yes, it is redirecting me back to where I need to go. That's over in New Bark. You say, I'm not ready to go to Johto yet. I need to find the Pewter City gym leader. So, it's multiple times that this thing's brought up Johto. In the very beginning, it was wanting to put us with Professor Elm. I need to fight the Pewter City gym leader. Fine, he says, get the leader of the rock gym. So, the AI, at least, knows that the Pewter City gym is a rock-type gym. What's the name of the rock gym leader? And so I wanted to feed it that information, but I needed a reason for Ash to know, so you say, Brock, I saw his name on a poster in the Pokemon Center. You got a list of the gym leaders? Your mom pulls a small piece of paper out of her pocket and gives it to the man. He scrolls through it rapidly. So he's scrolling through a physical piece of paper, and I don't know why Delia had a list of the gym leaders' names in her pocket. You say, what are you looking for? The name Brock. What's happened to the one I gave you? The what? The name? It didn't work. Why not? And I don't know what they are talking about. The name that Ash gave Flint didn't work. So then I just try to redirect it and be like the anime. Except I guess we have Ash's mom randomly along for the ride. Flint takes you to look through the window of Brock's house. Brock is taking care of his little siblings. And the names that it gives Brock's siblings, I couldn't believe it. His sister May is 3 years old, and her brother Max is only a few months. So we've got a May and a Max that are an older sister and a younger brother. But May is Brock's sister, and Max is her brother, but Max does not appear to be Brock's brother. Okay. They look happy. Hello, you say. Oh, it's you, Brock says, so Brock already knows us. I challenge you to a battle. Sure, he says. Brock holds out his hand. You grab it and he pulls you into a tight hug. His beard scratches at your face. So Brock has a beard now, and his reaction to being challenged to a battle is to pull Ash into a hug. Okay. You pull away. Hey, you say. I'm so happy for you, he says. Your journey is officially started. When's the ceremony? Ceremony? And the AI did that on its own to bring up a ceremony and then be alarmed at the thought of a ceremony. You say, what ceremony? The Osana ceremony. The only Osana I know of is Osana Najimi in Yandere Simulator. What is going on here? The ceremony that marks the beginning of a trainer's journey, didn't you know? No, you say. Brock laughs. Well, you should be prepared. You say, okay, do we battle before or after the ceremony? Because at this point, I just want to get my gym battle. I'm being as impatient as Ash. And then he says, I have a special place in my heart for May. You can wait there while I take care of her. So then the AI has to run off and do something else. And I'm guessing this is his sister, May, who's 3 years old. Okay. Is that the place to battle? Sure. You wait in the gym for Brock to show up. A woman is sweeping the floor. A little girl is sitting in the corner of the room drawing pictures. Now, I'm pretty sure that the girl drawing pictures is probably one of Brock's sisters, but who is this woman sweeping the floor in the gym? And consider the gym has a dirt floor. Most of it does. Finally, the spotlight turns on and Brock appears on the battlefield. Are you ready, Ash? He asks. And I think this is the first time that I actually dictated another player's words within the story. But I really need this to move forward. And I wasn't sure if I could dictate other characters' words, but it seems like I can. Because then the AI says, yeah, you reply. So it recognized that someone was talking to us. Let's finish what we started, he says, jumping back into the battle. You and him are rushing at each other. All of your Pokemon are released, so we're physically fighting too. And all of the Pokemon are out, which is chaos, so I said. Per league rules, we can each have only one Pokemon on the field at a time. Brock nods. I'll take that as a yes, he says. He sends out his Onix, which apparently wasn't already out. It shakes its head back and forth slowly from side to side. You say, go, Pikachu! Your Pikachu turns to lightning, racing along the ground. It shocks your foe, leaving it open for a tackle. Oh, I didn't want this to go too easily, so I said, Onix is unaffected by the electricity. It raises... Oh, that was all that I said. And then the AI says, it raises its hand. Onix has a hand. And your Pikachu's body is instantly fried by the current. You cry out, letting go of the Pokeball. No fair, you say. You used lightning. Fair? I don't know how that Onix used lightning. You say, Onix shouldn't be able to use electric attacks. What kind of rule is that? It's part of the most powerful Pokemon in the world. It's unfair. Brock thinks for a moment. Okay, and again, trying to get this back on track, I assume the role of Brock. Onix, use bind, Brock commands. And then the AI's interpretation of bind is Onix raises its arms, which turned into bands of rock. It wraps around Pikachu, and you know it will crush it if you don't do anything. Let it go! Use Iron Tail! And Pikachu doesn't learn Iron Tail until Hoenn, right before the battle with Roxanne. So I wrote, Pika, Pika. Pikachu shakes his head. He doesn't know Iron Tail. You had taught that move before you left Pallet, though. You bristle with anger. How could you forget such an important move? But anger only makes you weaker. And also, note that in this version, Ash didn't even have Pikachu when he left Pallet Town. He left Pallet Town with only a Snivy, and he found this Pikachu in a trailer in Viridian Forest. You say, use Thundershock and aim for the sprinklers. That's not quite how it happened in the anime, but we should be able to get the correct outcome. You give your command and your Pikachu nods. He raises his arm and lets loose a blast of thunder. The attack hits the sprinkler system and it explodes in a chain reaction. The water from the sprinklers drenches Onix. Oh, sorry, I keep flipping my screen. And allows the electrical current to reach him. The powerful Pokemon collapses to the ground, unable to move. And that's how you use thunder, you say proudly. The AI keeps wanting to give Pikachu moves that Pikachu can learn, but he doesn't know them yet. Nice one, Brock says before calling out. You say, did I win? Yeah, you won. Take your prize, he says. You reach up and grab the Pokeball and release your Pikachu. I thought Pikachu was already out. That seems to be a weakness of the AI. It keeps releasing Pokemon that were already out. Brock presents you with the Boulder Badge. It's the standard size of a rock that's about the size of a lunchbox. So this badge is probably bigger than Ash's entire badge case. You know what? I just realized in Gen 1, he didn't even have a badge case. He just pinned his badges inside his jacket. But at any rate, if he had a badge case, this would be larger. The badge is larger than the badge case. And way bigger than a legitimate Pokemon badge. Will you take a picture with me? He asks. So now Brock wants to take a picture with the challenger who defeated him. You say, sure. You laugh nervously, raise the phone, which they now randomly have, maybe it's a PokeNav, to your smile and snap a picture. I look dumb, you complain. Oh no, not at all, he says kindly. Congratulations, Ash, Misty tells you. I didn't think you could do it. You reach out and shake her hand. Because that's the reply to someone congratulating you. Thanks for your support, you say. You quickly make your way to the front hall. You say, where to next? You arrive in another town. It looks fairly similar to Pewter City. But there are a few more people here, and the buildings are bigger and fancier. So I guess in this universe, there is apparently a bigger city between Pewter City and Mount Moon. It would have to be where the Pokemon Center at the foot of Mount Moon is in the games. I've been kind of trying to follow the anime, but use the geography of the games, because you can't really follow the geography in the anime. So there shouldn't be a city here, but the AI says there's a city, so let's just say it's at the foot of Mount Moon. You spot a store across the road. Oh. Right. At the time of writing this, I decided to ignore the AI's new city and pretend that we were still in Pewter City and that we just walked outside of the gym. So I said, Flint is waiting in the entrance. Well done, Brock, he congratulates. Brock knows that voice. Dad? He asks. Yep. Welcome back, son, he replies. So I think the AI is confused about who was gone. It was Flint that was gone, not Brock. You stare at him in disbelief. You're my dad? So now the AI thinks that Flint is Ash's dad. Which, you opened a big can of worms, AI. You're my dad, you say in shock. He laughs, a heavy sound that sounded forced. No, kid, I'm not your dad, I'm Brock's dad. His wife, May, appears from the kitchen. She's much kindlier than her husband. Okay, so first of all, earlier it said that Brock had a sister named May, and now Brock's father has a wife named May, who is presumably Brock's mother? But Brock's mother is supposed to be dead. And, Flint will remarry, but Brock's stepmother isn't around yet. And I think Brock's stepmother's name is Lola. So I considered deleting this bit because she really ruins the story. Because Brock's mother's supposed to be dead. But we'll just work with that. Hello, she says warmly. She's not really doing much here anyway. Brock, Flint says, now that I'm home, I'd like for you to go on a journey. Why don't you travel with Ash? So, the absence of Brock's mother was a lot of the reason why Brock needed to stay home. But I guess, for some reason, even though his mother could take care of the kids, he still needed to help her. So that's what we're going with. Yeah, okay, he says, rolling his eyes. Brock's a lot less eager here than in the anime. You wonder why he's being so impatient, but it makes sense. If you're living with him, you don't want to waste time getting acquainted. You say, yes, please, will you come with me? You try to make eye contact with her, but she looks away. She's shy. I don't know who we're talking about. I don't want to go by myself, she says nervously. Well, you're not really going by yourself. And because it was talking to a she, I remembered we still had Delia with us. Mom, are you going back to Pallet Town now? Hint, hint. Or are you coming with us to Cerulean? Her cheeks turn red. I'm coming with you to Cerulean. Not that kind of Abel, you laugh. Flint's face turns red. What just happened there? Was that a suggestive situation between Ash and his mom? Let's not go into that too much. Do we have to go to Cerulean? Misty interrupts. There are plenty of gyms in other places. You'll get your chance to shine when the time comes, Flint says, walking out of the room. Misty glares at him. I don't like Flint. He's mean. Okay. I really don't know what to do with that. You say, you're mean, Misty. Well, I'm not responsible for your actions when you become a trainer. Be grateful you have somebody who gives you a chance at becoming a real Pokemon master when the time comes. Okay, she says angrily. Meanwhile, and I think I might have messed things up here, because after I switched to Team Rocket, the AI no longer seems to really recognize Ash as the main character. Meanwhile, Team Rocket is digging a pitfall trap on the path of town. I wonder what we'll catch here, Meowth asks. Let's see, grins James. A Pidgey or an Ariados? So I name dropped Meowth, and the AI immediately brings James into it, so it knew that connection. I don't know why we bother with you, says a voice. I don't know who that voice was. I'm just going to assume it's Jessie, because she'd be the only other one there. James brought up Ariados and Kanto, so I said, I told you, James, Meowth scolded. You won't find Ariados here. They're native to Johto. You turn your head. I don't know who this is. To see a girl about your age with long black hair tied up in a ponytail. She wears hunting camouflage with a sword by her side. And that girl has no place here. Let's just ignore her. Where did we put the pitfall trap? Jessie asks. We hit it so well. Don't step there. We hit it so well. Don't step there, James warns her. I don't need to. I can tell what kind of Pokemon are in the grass just by their scents. So Jessie can smell Pokemon. How? The ground beneath Jessie's feet shifts. All of Team Rocket falls into their own trap. And by this point in the anime, they should have already met Ash back in Viridian City. But we still need to work out to the point of them meeting Ash. Good going, guys, Meowth says. Now we have to start over. I thought you said a Pidgey or an Ariados, James points out. I changed my mind, the girl says. I guess there's a Rhyhorns. Whatever. Meanwhile, Ash and friends are coming down the road. Did you hear anything? He asked, stepping on James's head. Nope. Misty says, it must be your imagination. And that roughly lines up with the end of the 5th episode of the anime. So we will stop for there. See ya, chair, stool.